For the first time this season in the OSRL Short Track Showdown, we head south to South Boston, that is, for another week of competition. The Tour Modifieds take the stage for the first time this season, and as it stands, we see 6 drivers on the board so far with times. Great to be back here in the Short Track Showdown after a quick break. The points race is as intense as it can get, and right now, all of the top competitors hoping to get back on the board before a main 125 lap showing later in the night. Great to have you all live on FTN yet again. As always, I'm your host for tonight's broadcast, David Droitz. There's 2 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in practice. From there, we'll get to the main event. Qualifying assigned by a random draw, so the field already has been laid out. Drivers are just going to have to settle for the spot they have and go from there. As it stands, 5 drivers, of course, in the top 5, being led by Jack Painter, with SearingMarks scored in second, Jack Lauer then in third, and fourth being held by Josh Stoltz. Mo Perry has the final time currently in the session, and Ruby Estes, who's now on the track, is looking to put down her very first lap. Looks like 6 drivers on the track right now, all of which have gone around the start and finish line at least once, and it looks like now every driver with some familiarity with this combination. The Tour Modifieds being used for tonight's preliminary race. The first time we've seen them all season, as we mentioned before. Last week, they used the 1987 stock cars at North Wilkesboro, now coming back with some grassroots action, and it looks like some drivers having a bit of trouble. Fastest lap so far, 14.534 for Painter. SearingMarks not too far behind, 32 thousandths of a second off, and then from there, Jack Lauer going to be 58 one-thousandths of a second adrift, so very close call within the top 3 at the moment. As it stands, it's going to be a minute flat on the board, and now it's ready for most drivers to get to the action. Qualifying settled by a starting grid put together in a random draw, so qualifying already decided, as we mentioned before, for every driver in the league. However, one of these drivers will be promoted to the pole position, seeing the lack of participation from many who have been regulars this season so far. Through turns 3 and 4, yet again for Jack Lauer. That is a 14.849. Very consistent that he noses it into the wall, and it looks like SearingMarks gets involved, goes down a pit road. It's a big stack up. Josh Stoltz going to be there as well, and it looks like every driver heading back down to pit road now. 15 seconds left on the board. Josh Stoltz in the Lucas Oil Chevrolet, going to be 4th in timing, but when all is said and done, Jack Painter is 1st in qualifying. Of course, not. But in practice, that he is. Gets it done. Top spot here in warm-up. Now time to find out your randomly generated starting grid for tonight's preliminary event here in the Skid Steer Loader 125. And as drivers depopulate the track for the first time tonight, now the overhead shot will show you the sun has began to set, and Mo Perry is going to be the top man on the board. Jack Painter pushed all the way back into last of the 6 drivers here. So with our preliminary event getting going just about now, drivers already grabbing gears, let's take a quick look at your starting grid for tonight's preliminary showdown. 30 minutes in the Tour Modified shrunk down to 15, and from there we'll get on to the main show tonight. Starting in the first position, it's going to be Mo Perry in the number 54, promoted to the pole position. Right beside him is going to be SearingMarks in the 2nd spot overall. That's row 1 with Josh Stoltz, then in 3rd. Jack Lauer going to be right beside him in the 4th position, and Ruby Estes goes up into 5th. Jack Painter, the fastest man in practice, goes down to the bottom of the board, 6th and last here in qualifying. Randomly assigned positions give Painter the worst spot and Mo Perry the best. We'll see how much longer they can hold on to their assigned positions, or if we're going to see some big time moving very early. The iRacing official pace car leads the field down through the backstretch yet again. The fans in the virtual grandstands have already packed the track, and they're getting ready for an exciting show between Mo Perry and SearingMarks up in front. The iRacing official pace car comes down a pit road, and the race is underway. Welcome to your preliminary showing here in the South Boston Speedway. the line, it's going to be SearingMarks taking that lead. Mo Perry going to get very loose off the final corner, puts him right back in the territory of Josh Stoltz and Jack Lauer. Battle begins yet again. This time it's going to be for second. The leader beginning to get away from the big pack here, and it looks like now Mo Perry's got a bit more pressure than before. You'll see Jack Lauer going to be right behind Josh Stoltz. Jack Painter's within the pack as well. Ruby Estes moved back into the 6th spot, and Painter already trying to put some power down and get back to the front. The number 97 Cookout Chevrolet, of course, reminiscent of Bobby Labonte. Now, it's not necessarily a Chevrolet in the traditional stock car sense. Labonte, well known for his Monte Carlo number 18, but here with the modifieds, it's very hard to tell manufacturer from manufacturer apart from the stickers. We mentioned, of course, Josh Stoltz running the Kyle Busch-esque scheme with the Lucas Oil sponsorship and all, but for other drivers, manufacturers are not all too clear. They're driving what they've got, and that's about it. The Tour modifieds with a very similar body styles regardless of implied manufacturer, so to speak. It's all the same body style, the setup, the chassis, what have you. The only difference right now is how the drivers approach the track, and SearingMarks already has a 1 second advantage over Mo Perry. Perry gonna hold on right now for that second spot, and we're gonna see the battle for second here on FTN. Right now it's gonna be Josh Stoltz in the back bumper of Mo Perry. As we take a rear view look, you'll see the sun beaming down through the back straightaway, a bit less visibility in the rear view mirror. So for Mo Perry, just going with what he knows, and it's gonna get another bobble there. There's a spin. That's Jack Painter. We stay green. He's gonna fade back into 6th. Minor contact with the front stretch wall as the battle up in front persists. Josh Stoltz is yet to be able to find a opportunity to make that move to get 1 spot ahead. Looks like for now he'll stay in the back and wait us out and find out if there's something more as time goes by. 12 minutes and 34 seconds remaining as it stands. Time still running out for these drivers, and it's now a 1.5 seconds. SearingMarks has that advantage, and it continues to grow. That time by Sears fastest with a 14.683. Second fastest lap on the track held by Jack Painter, and it's 14.75. Painter is in dead last right now. The second fastest driver, almost 6 seconds away from your leader. Big time deficit as Gerange finds himself still up in front. Mo Perry going to be in the runner-up spot, and Josh Stoltz then in third. 1, 2, 3 separate by 2 seconds, and Jack Lauer fades back about a 1/2 second adrift. Now the driver's getting into a bit of a rhythm here, and it looks like it's going to stay that way. 6 drivers, of course, much different from the fields we've seen earlier in the season, and it's been all clean so far. 11 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. It looks to be what could indeed come out to our first yellow flag free preliminary race. We've seen quite a few in every run so far this season, but with these Tour modifieds, things are looking to change, and 15 laps through, Mo Perry knows that he right now has no shot to chase back that lead short of a mistake from the number 89 of SearingMarks. Right now, Mo's going to bide his time and keep on putting the laps he can put through. Still definitely quicker than Josh Stoltz. Jack Lauer, though, might be on the same level as that number 54 just ahead, and diving down to the bottom side. Jack Lauer tries to take it, not going to be able to make it so, but Lauer is definitely quicker than Josh Stoltz. That time by, it was a 14.808 for Lauer, and that would be quicker than both drivers in front of him directly. Josh Stoltz ran at 14.875, and Mo Perry ran at 18. Of course, it was 14.878. Now it's going to be a 14.911. Josh Stoltz can have a 14.883. They're all dead even for the most part here, but Lauer, despite some slip-ups through 3 and 4 in the past 2 laps, still looks to be as quick as ever. Going to dive down to the rug moot beer machine once again, trying to get to the root of the problem, but so far, no luck. He'll stay right behind, taking it down lower through 3 and 4, but has not found any room to make passes. So far, been a very stagnant race. Jack Painter fades back into his qualifying position of 6th. Ruby Estes gets right back up into 5th. Jack Lauer now getting closer to the 2 just ahead, saving up his stuff a bit more as it looks like they're wearing it out. It's going to be Lauer now chasing the 3rd spot with Josh Stoltz right ahead of him. Mo Perry going to get a bit of a break here, 1/2 second's worth. SearingMarks going to be 2.5 seconds away, looking to put drivers further out of contention, while Jack Painter has gained gained a bit of time, but not too much. Just about dead even with your leader for the most part. Every other driver losing time in large capacities. 22 laps in so far. Duringe leads the way. Mo Perry still second, and Josh Stoltz there in third. But it looks like now Jack Lauer getting even closer. That time by, he was 24 thousandths of a second slower than the man ahead of him, but it looks like that could change this time around. It's been a very back and forth push and pull for all these drivers in the middle of the field here. South Boston, very small track. You can see there's only one preferred groove through the corners, and Lauer's going to have trouble down the back straightaway. Once again, making some contact there. That puts Lauer further back in accordance to the timing sheets, but gets another opportunity to dive it deep through 1 and 2, an opportunity he will take, and now finds himself on the back bumper yet again of Josh Stoltz. Takes it a bit lower, and now has a chance to make the pass complete through turn 4. Looks like Josh Stoltz keeps the spot. Jack Lauer goes right down low, and Lauer still wants what he doesn't have. Taking a look here, Jack Lauer taking it to the inside. No contact just yet, but it's getting very close. This is the battle to see who will end up in the 4th position, but overall they're looking to get that 3rd place right now, and it looks like it is still held by the Kyle Busch throwback scheme. A throwback of sorts, winning a race at Auto Club earlier this year, but of course already making some history. Kyle Busch winning with the Chevrolet team for the first time in over 15 years in 2023, ending up with Richard Childress Racing's number 8, and right now down to the bottom, Jack Lauer having none of it. He'll take it right there, and it looks like he's going to have a chance to dive it deep, and that he does. Lauer now going to find himself in the 3rd position. Great move there for the number 59 machine. Now puts himself up inside the podium, but it is still going to be tossing and turning. Big toss up into the wall. It's going to be almost sideways entirely. And just like that, the battle for 3rd will end with a bang. Halfway into this race, 7 minutes and 30 seconds on the board. We see our first and presumably only caution of the day. Big hit for Josh Stoltz. And as we take it back half a minute here on FTN, it is a huge incident with the number 8 on your frame. Josh Stoltz getting in some trouble. Let's take a look back and find out why. It looks like overcorrects up into the wall out of turn 4, ends up sideways, and then some damage on the suspension as well, automatically repaired. But still, a hard hit, loses all that track position, and for the first time tonight, we're re-racking them and restacking them. Now it's going to be 6 minutes, 55 seconds. Duringe still leads the way, and that's the way it's gone for the entirety of this race. Halfway down, halfway to go, and it's going to be the iRacing official pace car right back on the track. And saying goodbye to the prospect of an all-clean race. Now it's going to be Duringe, of course, leading at our first caution. Just like that, the number 89 machine going to be there in the 1st spot. Mo Perry going to be in 2nd, 3rd place. From there, it is going to be, of course, Rubiestas 4th, Josh Stoltz 5th, and Jack Painter then in position number 6. Top 6, of course, all still on the track. And as it's gone so far, 6 minutes remaining on the board. First yellow flag here in the South Boston Speedway. Main event coming right at you. After this event, of course, it is the Tour Modifieds, then the late model stocks, and that's the way it'll go. Now the pace lights are off for our iRacing official pace car. Time to see if Duringe still has it in store. Maybe for Mo Perry, there's a chance to get the win. Jack Painter, who's going to be scored in 6th right now, might have a chance to drive through the field. All that and then some as they come down to the stripe this time through. First caution going to be over onto our first restart of the day. iRacing official pace car down and in, and the green flag will fly in South Boston. We're back on the way, led by Duringe. And just like that, caution flies yet again. It's going to be Jack Painter in some trouble. Same for Mo Perry. Another incident immediately after our first. And with 5 minutes remaining, back-to-back yellow flags for the first time today. Let's take a quick look back and find out what caused this incident. Mo Perry now going to be scored dead last up on the high side during the restart. Some contact with Lauer. He's going to go up in the wall, collects Jack Painter, and he goes up and over. Somersaults for Jack Painter. And he lands on all fours. Very nice landing for Painter, but it's going to cost him. Down to pit road, and luckily gets back on the way. Rubiestis involved. Mo Perry, of course, at the back of the pack, too. And just like that, the field returns to the pacing with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left on the board. Huge hit for Jack Painter. Mo Perry, Rubiestis also involved, and now Mo gets back off pit road. It's time to see what is left of this race. 37 laps in. The estimates were that we would get up to lap number 60, but as it stands, that does not appear to be the case any longer. 2 laps till we get back to the green flag, still led by Cyrus Gerange. Jack Lauer second, Josh Stoltz is in third. For those of you coming in for the first time tonight, stick around. This is the first race of the day. The second is coming immediately thereafter. It will be the late model stock event, 125 laps, and hopefully a bigger crowd than this one. 6 drivers so far in the preliminary race, expecting more as we get to our second event very soon. It looks like practice for the late model stocks have gone up right now. So drivers practicing in the front of the field might be already on the move. Coming into the night, Zach Knowles leads the overall standings. 11 points behind is Harry Grindell. Nolan Sanford is in third, and Jack Painter is in fourth. Of your heavy hitters, Jack Painter is the only one of which in this preliminary race tonight. He got, of course, a very good run at the very first race this season. Former Levi's, the preliminary event to kick this season off at Nashville, but from there, still chasing victory. Coming through this time around, 1 lap to green, it's going to be Cyrus Gerange up on the top no longer. Jack Lauer now going to be in the second spot, and Jack Painter is going to be in third. Josh Stoltz right beside him. 2 drivers on the inside line. That's going to be Mo Perry and Rubiestis as they come through this time around. Double file no longer. The iRacing official pace car comes down and in, and the green flag will fly for your second restart with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. The line, it's still going to be Cyrus Gerange up in front, but Josh Stoltz now finds himself in second with some trouble for Rubiestis. Ruby goes up to the top side, and Jack Lauer's upside down. And Jack Lauer's been there for a lap. And just like that, no caution, and there's some trouble for the Mug Root Beer machine. Let's take a look back and find out just what happened here. Instant replay. Jack Lauer up in the wall, goes upside down, and spun right back to the entry of turn 3. How about it for Jack Lauer? Huge hit there, and just like that, no caution as Jack Painter still leads the way. And of course, Jack Painter up in front now ahead of Cyrus Gerange, able to take it through. The battle for lead is a battle no longer, and it's going to be the 97 up in front. As it stands, you can see the second spot going to be held by the 89. Mo Perry going to be third, and Josh Stoltz is in fourth. Rubiestis fifth, and there's going to be some contact there for the number 54 of Mo Perry. Another one goes around. That's going to be Josh Stoltz. No caution. 1 minute remaining, and it looks like nothing's gonna come of it. Jack Painter still gonna be the leading man. The cookout machinery stays up in front. Cyrus Gerange gonna be there in second, and in third, it's still Rubiestis. The drivers who got involved in the incident get back on the way. Josh Stoltz is gonna be the best of which in fourth. Mo Perry gonna be back on the move, and Jack Lauer is still down on pit road. Now, less than a minute left. The cookout machine, the number 97, able to get back up in front. Still chasing down that very first preliminary event, and it looks like, of course, coming through with what will be 2 laps remaining. This time by, it's going to be Jack Painter looking to take the white flag here in South Boston. The flagman opts not to wave it. Time has been extended, and it looks like there's a bit more left. Down to the line, it's going to be the cookout. Of course, up in front, let Jack Painter cook. White flags out here for the 97. Sears Turinge remains in second, looking for a mistake. So far, he has not got one. Now coming through yet again, the checkered flag is going to fall here for the Tour Modifieds. It's going to be the race over, and Jack Painter gets it done. Preliminary redemption. The number 97 comes through and wins the first race here in South Boston. And it's a big win here for Jack Painter, getting it done. And just like that, he's going to have Ruby Estes pull up as well. But it looks like it's going to be Painter celebrating alone, burning it down, the number 97. And just like that, he's going to disappear from the screen immediately thereafter. Jack Painter ends the celebration, and just like that, race over, burnout. It's going to be Mo Perry on the overhead shot. What a race that was. And after some chaos late in the going, we've got ourselves a first race winner of the day. Jack Painter gets it done, winning the event over Sears Turinge, Ruby Estes in third, and Josh Stoltz them in fourth. It's going to be Mo Perry, position number 5, and Jack Lauer, the only driver off the lead lap, finishing a total of 10 laps down. And that is your first race here in the Skid Steer Loader 125. It's going to be off from the Tour Mods into the late model stocks. Now let's take a look and find out whether or not our race winner would want an interview here. Looks like currently not in any of the voice chats, so we're going to find out if we can get a word. If not, we'll move on to your second race of the day. It's going to be the Short Track Showdown, continuing very shortly. 125 laps coming at you very soon here on FTN. And still waiting on any word from Jack Painter here. So far, not in a voice chat, so we're going to go ahead and move on to our next event. 125 laps on the move, on to the late model stocks, and we'll be right back after a brief promotional break from our friends at iRacing. Once again, getting it done on top, Jack Painter winning over Sears Turinge, Ruby Estes, Josh Stoltz, Mo Perry, and Jack Lauer. We'll be right back with your second race of the day here on FTN. Stay tuned as we bring you a brief promotional break courtesy of iRacing and our other FTN partners.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arca Menards. This has been the publication of the redesign and rebranding of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. Thank you, and thanks for your time.
live on FTN. This is the second race of the night. The main feature here, the skid steer loader 125. The late model stocks already populating the track, and as it stands, we've got practice on the move here with a total of 32 minutes left before qualifying and the main event. Great to have you all back on FTN yet again. Special shout out to those in chat, of course, Carmax, Roku Lux, Lazard, and Andrew Schulte. And as it stands, the viewership rising as we get to our big show here. It looks like Paul Mikolajczak going to be on the top with Nolan Sanford second, Jack Lauer third, and Zach Knowles then in fourth. It's going to be Sirius Duringe fifth, and then we will see the remainder of the field flash by on the bottom of your ticker. Joshua Chin sixth, Mo Perry 7th, Jack Painter 8th with Ruby Estes then in 9th, and Jonathan Oates racing in the main feature in the Coca-Cola number 73. He is currently scored in 10th. Getting back to the action here in the short track showdown at the South Boston Speedway. Now it looks like going to be pitting in. Jonathan Oates does. We've got the field still loading in with half an hour to go. A lot of drivers going to be getting some practice in. Well, of course, the best time to do it is now. The sun continues to set. Now there's no sunshine across the entirety of the track, so it's going to be different track conditions compared to that of the Tour Modified race. Less sun, may be more grip for these drivers, and that's exactly what you need if you're going to battle on a very close circuit such as this. Take every advantage you can get and go with it. That's going to be the game plan for all of those competing for the win. Many consistent contenders already on the track with us now, and there's still more that are soon to come. Half an hour until things get going here in South Boston, and then from there, of course, 125 laps after practice. Harry Grindell loaded up into the session. He currently finds himself second in points, 11 points away from the overall lead. And down a pit road, we're going to see another driver go. That is Nolan Sanford. Nolan backs it in, resets again, and you'll see now a battle between Paul Mikolajczak and the number 54 of Mo Perry. Perry, last time we saw him on FTN, able to put together a very solid top 5 run in the short track showdown. The North Wilkesboro full race replay set to come out sometime within the next week, so stick around for that. A lot more to show from the short track showdown before it is all said and done. Next after this week, of course, it's going to be another very special one. Won't be an oval, it will be Lime Rock Park. The 6th week on the schedule. It's going to be something to remember, and the number 54 going to go around and spin there as Joshua Chin goes up to the high side of the track. He will go down to pit road as well, and with a half an hour here in practice remaining, how's about we ride on board with Paul Mikolajczak and see exactly what he's doing to be the fastest man on the board so far. And running now with the number 77 who leads the way according to our timing and scoring. You're going to see the left front suspension camera here doing its magic, and getting very low into the corners has been the way to go for that number 77. First in practice so far by only 5/1000ths of a second, but that's all you need right now if you're the leader in practice. It's not like qualifying where slim margins like that can be broken quite easily. As the track conditions continue to change, you can get even faster, and as the sun begins to set, the track will become much less slick, allowing for drivers to get quicker all throughout their runs. We're going to take a brief break to make sure the right cameras are loaded for this car. Our camera partners at TrackCams22.com providing us some incredible material, and we love to share that with you. Looks like all is well. Let's get right back to the racing here as we head back to the coverage on FTN. Still looking with Paul Mikolajczak right now, and you can see still working it nice and smooth through the corners. How's about we take it inside the cockpit and go through with the gyro camera? You'll see all the rotation inside the cockpit using the banking to his advantage, and it looks like for now no trouble. Being as quick as he is, he'll stay that way, and Nolan Sanford looks to replicate it. Inside the all-orange number 52, second in practice right now, and looking very good inside his late model stock. 5/1000ths of a second away from the top time. He'll go down to pit road once again to get a new set of Hoosier tires as opposed to the usual Goodyear rubber we see at a track like South Boston. iRacing, of course, covering many ranks in the NASCAR world, even in the virtual sense, so Goodyear tires are very, very common on iRacing. But here with the late models, that is not the case. The Hoosier tire is the one manufacturer that won out, and their tires are seen on each and every machine, no matter the manufacturer. Tell you what, we've got a lot of manufacturers in this race. Of course, Jonathan Oates there, he's going to be in a Ford Mustang. Mo Perry right now going to be in a Dodge Charger. Joshua Chin looks to be in a Chevy Camaro. Cyrus Durange going to be with, of course, the Mo Perry machine. Looks like another for Jack Painter. That's Jack Lauer. That's a Mustang for Lauer. And for Painter, it is instead a Pontiac. And how about that? A Grand Prix. And Zach Knowles, your current points leader, that is a Cadillac. We've even seen Corvettes this season. Any manufacturer can show up. We're expecting some participation from Renault, and there it is. That's Harry Grindel. And as the drivers come in, so do the special paint schemes and manufacturers alike. Right now, the Perry Paints 54 makes it out, and it looks like with half an hour still in the books, we've got another driver back on the move. Harry Grindel going to be on his way down a pit road. Joshua Chin on the track, and still waiting for the bulk of the field to get things going. As it stands, 12 drivers have joined into the session. Going back to Steven Gibson and his number 21. Gibson has yet to hit the track so far. However, it looks like there's still some time until he needs to. Rudy Valentine joins the session as well. Rudy, always a quick competitor. Great to see him back on the circuit, so we're expecting some great things out of that number 78 yet again. Whenever there's an off-season event in the OSRL League, be it of course the E-Modifieds as we saw last year, and the Short Track Showdown returning yet again, Rudy is one of the drivers who always finds himself up in front. He's looking to do so yet again tonight, and maybe this will be the combination that suits his style of driving. We saw him run very well at Nashville early in the going until James Thurston eventually came through and stole the victory away from every other driver. Drivers like River Page also there with them, and right now Paul Mikolajczak still the man to beat as Paul keeps it going through turns 3 and 4 yet again. A schedule for FTN coming up after tonight. If you want to know, there's quite a lot of information. Saturday night we'll be showing you the Watkins Glen event from the Saturday Night Truck Series. Sunday night will be an off night, but we'll have 3 streams to make up for it on Monday. River Page will be behind the cameras on the FORL Truck Series event. That's going to be coming back after Rockingham's last week's showdown. The Truck Series still in full swing, and we're expecting another great show at the Milwaukee Mile. For Andrew Schulte, Lazard in the chat, he's got himself another production with the Schumacher Racing League coming back just before the playoffs begin. I believe the Magic Mile at New Hampshire's up next, and the Integrity Octane Series continues on Tuesday night, but not before another great show with the Ignite Series. North Wilkesboro Speedway, NASCAR's throwback track, will be also live on FTN. 3 broadcasts on Monday, and it's going to be all the more action throughout the week. Tuesday night, as we mentioned, the Octane Series. Wednesday night, the FORL Cup Series comes back with the Devin Cope Memorial 88.8, and the eNASCAR Road to Pro Qualifying iRacing Series returns after record viewership numbers in back-to-back weeks. Looking to go for it for a 3rd time, and it's going to be another great showing from the highest level of sim racing on this platform. Friday night, we'll bring you Lime Rock once again with this league on the Short Track Showdown, so there's a lot to look forward to here on FTN, and these drivers are looking forward to the start of the race. Now Rudy's going to be on the track with his Interstate Batteries Chevy Camaro, and he's still looking for a chance to get into victory lane this season. Joe Armstrong, who just joined into the session, he's already gotten his first victory in this season, got it done at Southern National, so if he can go for it again, he'd love to make it another checkered flag for the number 22 iRacing machine. Maybe he's got a bit more in store, but so far already a winning campaign in this championship hunt. That's something to be proud of, especially with the level of competition. Zach Knowles takes it up to the top spot on the running order. Zach now going to be ahead by 24 thousandths of a second. Back down to pit road he goes though, so he'll wait once again and see if Paul Mikolajczak can best that time So far, does not look like he's done so, but there's still 23 minutes and 17 seconds until the race gets right back on its way. And time remaining, of course, going to be in the left side of your screen with our graphics package for short tracks exclusively. A lot to keep an eye out for with drivers still joining into the session. Nathan Kiani has just joined, and as we got a bit of time, we'll try to get some interviews here. It looks like right now only Mo Perry and Cyrus Duringe are in voice. So we're going to try to call up some other drivers and find out what's going on. And still with time to spare, Paul Mikolajczak gets back right again on the track. The number 77 quick already, looking to best the time set by Zach Knowles, which is a 14.929. Mikolajczak going to be in second, of course. Nolan Sanford then going to be in third. Jonathan Oates going to be fourth, and then in fifth, it's going to be Cyrus Duringe. I'm still trying to get some more drivers in this event. How's about we take an interview, though, with one of our most successful competitors on the tour so far. Mo Perry's in voice chat right now. We'll drag him in right now, indeed, and find out what's going on inside the Perry Paints Dodge Charger. With Mo Perry right now, 21 minutes left until racing gets back on the way. How you feeling so far with your Dodge Chargers? We still got a lot of time here in practice.
Wishing I had a little bit more speed. Don't know exactly how I can get any faster than what I am, but I guess we'll just deal with it.
And one of the few drivers tonight who's already gotten a bit of practice, and it looks like so far able to get that late model tour race out the way for the modified tour. Now we're up to the late models. They drive different, but it is the same track. What can you take for the first race to bring to the second?
Well, I mean, I've always thought that the modified always drove a little bit similar to the late model stock, so take quite a bit from it. Not obviously 1-to-1, because the modified was a lot more loose than this, at least on corner entry. But pretty much just learning at least how far into the apron you can go into the corners and everything like that, because using the apron at this track sometimes at least helps.
And we have seen, especially in the most recent race, some drivers did take it down to the apron with the modifieds. But tonight, we've got a lot more drivers in the main event. Of course, 6 in the modifieds. Now here, we've got 15 already registered. So what's it going to mean to have more drivers around you when understanding the track and the racing in itself?
Means make a mistake, ends up with a bigger incident. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Just also means I'm going to end up probably in the middle of a bigger pack. So, yeah, it's just going to be a crowded race, I guess.
Crowding up another iconic short track next week is going to be Lime Rock Park, so we're moving away from the short tracks very soon, getting back to the twists and turns, and that's going to be another exciting one. Yeah, you have any thoughts coming into that, or is it just a little too far ahead?
I mean, I'm not too big of a fan of road courses in oval cars, though this one at least seems to have a lot of grip compared to other NASCAR vehicles. So, hopefully it's at least a decent race. I like Lime Rock as a track, so depending on what layout we use, we may end up catching some air over that jump.
And hoping to keep it on the track, of course. Once again, Mo Perry competing 10th right now in practice. Anything more you'd like to add before the racing gets on its way?
No, not really, aside from the fact that I'm watching Xfinity right now with a floating monitor in my car.
Well, there we have it. Real-life racing going on at the same time, but in the virtual space, Mo Perry back with the 54 Charger. Thank you for your time.
And thank you for the broadcast.
Mo Perry going to be on the way. Now, we've only got one other driver right now currently who is on the track to interview. So before we get a special interview from us guest in the waiting room, let's get one more from the number 89. Cyrus Duringe right now, I'm going to be running 6th in practice, and it looks like the only drivers in voice chat are all running that Perry Paints paint scheme with the confetti still on it, on our end at the very least. 6th right now, very competitive times being put up. How do you feel heading into our big show here in South Boston?
I feel good, yeah. The confetti is kind of like a good omen because, you know, that was a fun race, and I'm going to be honest, we forgot to take it off, but it looks good with it on it. South Boston, I'm not really too comfortable at. Didn't really get too much practice on it. Haven't had much practice in this car in general. I've been out the past 2 weeks on vacation, so I don't know. I'm just sitting here learning. That competitive lap time there was with the qualifying setup, but I'm hoping it still means something. Just trying to work on keeping it consistent and keeping it steady now.
And consistency, of course, is key. You're one of the few drivers who also raced in the modified event just a few minutes ago. Smaller in terms of the amount of drivers, of course, in the field, but same track. And we talked to Mo Perry just a few moments ago. He said you can take a lot from one of these cars to the next. Do you think that's the same case?
Yeah, definitely. The modified, it's a lot more hooked up here. I mean, it's just a lot quicker through the corners, way more downforce, way more, bigger tires. It portrays just how hard it was to pass, because that first half, I was not the most fastest driver on the track, but since I got that lucky start, got that clean air, I was able to just disappear. And obviously, things changed by the restart, but I was hoping for that not to happen.
And clean air looked to be king so far. You think with the late models, of course, it's going to be the same, or with the amount of drivers, does it really just change the way the air works?
The late models, they're way more gripped up. They're kind of, I wouldn't say they're way more gripped up. They're gripped up in terms of their power, a lot less power, a lot more grip. There's going to be a lot closer racing, I see, but passing is going to be just as difficult.
And we saw it was very hard to get some passes done. It's been like that for a lot of these races. You've got to really work the car over. Some drivers choosing to use the apron, so I'm going to bounce to another topic. We saw some using the apron in the modifieds. Do you think that's viable here?
It's doable once the tires are rolled and you're getting desperate. There's nothing wrong with, sneaking your nose down there to try and make something happen, but it usually doesn't end well in terms of the attacker trying to pass. So people are going to do it. That's the thing. So whether it works or not, it's definitely going to happen.
Right about that. Aggression, it always finds a way here in the Short Track Showdown. And with only one faster pair, really not too much to spare. So overall, how do you think the race is going to go for you, given the pace you have right now? Any sort of predictions in mind?
Given the pace, given everyone around me, I'd say we'd finish. I'm shooting for a top 10, but I'm just more concerned about a clean car. Fresh tires by the end, keeping it, not getting anything overheated, and just having fun. That's kind of what it's all about. So
it's been a fun series so far. We're just weeks away from the OSRL Premier Series coming back now. Of course, we don't broadcast that here at FTN, but we love watching it on Thursday nights when we are free. How do you think it's going to go there? Or rather, are you ready for that season as it's coming back very soon?
I'd say I'm ready. I don't know, man. It's competitive bunch of guys there in the Premier Series. I'm hoping to stick around for the full season. I might miss a couple of events here and there, but I'll be there to fight. I mean, been running there since season 1, so yeah, it's always a good time.
And always keeping competitive. Sirius Durin still running lap 7th on the board right now. Anything more you'd like to add?
I think I'm all set. Thank you.
And there we have it. Thank you for your time. And with that in mind, that's Sirius Durin, number 89, moving back to with 14 minutes and 50 seconds remaining on the timing sheets. Still looking around. It looks like we got a special guest in the waiting room here. So with some time, let's find out what's going on with Andrew Schulte, Schumacher Racing League broadcaster. We still got a little bit of time before the race is going. You got any predictions on who's going to get it done?
Absolutely not, unfortunately. Whoever's winning this practice session, I guess, is my pick. They haven't really paid much attention, I'm going to be honest.
Well, there we have it. Either way, still a lot to be coming from you very soon. Monday night, the Schumacher Racing League. Very excited for the Magic Miles presentation. Anything more you'd like to bring to the viewers before we get to that on FTN?
What do you mean the Magic Mile, by the way?
Isn't it New Hampshire?
I forgot. Oh, wait, no, I thought you were saying the Monster Mile. Okay, yeah. Okay, it is the Magic Mile. My fault. I don't know. That's if I have motivation to do things. That all depends on motivation. Like, I do have a few ideas of what I'm gonna bring, but I can't leak them because it's funnier if you see them on the broadcast for the first time. But they're great ideas, possibly the best thing on an FTN broadcast ever recorded. And I'm driving a touring car around USA Dirt right now.
We'll tell you
I
what,
should
we got
mention-
quite a lot of Andrew Schulte fans in the chat. We've seen Carmax, we've seen Fumas,
Oh, yeah,
we have
wait.
seen Lux. Looks like you got a bit of a fan club here, and they're looking very eagerly toward your broadcast on Monday night. Anything you'd like to say to the fans out here?
I want to shout out Lux, Casey, and Foompis. Obviously, they will be the only 4 people in my broadcast, because I will be there too, so it counts as 4, as I'm in Gear 4. I'm currently driving a TCR around USA Dirt, which probably shouldn't be happening, but I feel like there needs to be a league that runs touring cars on dirt, so that's fun. Someone please start one, and if you do, contact me on Discord, because I genuinely need to broadcast or race one. I don't care, I just want to do one.
We'll tell you what, right now we're at South Boston here in the Short Track Showdown. Any thoughts on a touring car there?
I will go do that right now if you give me a second. Let me
I think
just.
we can give you a second, yeah. Just let me know when you're ready. As we're still in practice here, you see Paul
minutes,
Nikolajczak is in second, Jonathan Oates in third, Nolan Sanford fourth, and Jack Lauer in fifth. Now, you said your prediction is Zach Knowles. He's leading practice right now. He leads the points. He's the top man so far coming into tonight. Anyone else in mind that could get it done?
Who's in second?
Paul Nikolajczak.
Oh, Pavel Mikolajczak. Okay, well, I pronounced his name right last time I was on a broadcast, so he's my pick. Second pick, I should say, because I've got no idea how people are going to do. I'm going to be honest with you, because I haven't really tuned in that much. I've been, like, on and off, per usual, because I was just doing, like, working on stuff, but I think I brought people to have their attention because I'm just that good.
We'll tell you what, your most recent pick in Joe Armstrong is on the track right now. Remember last time we called a race in this league, Southern National. He came home with the win over the likes of James Thurston. He's back again, currently scored in 13th. You think he's got enough to get it done?
If I were calling the race, let's say yeah. Actually, I guess you could say I'm calling a bit of the practice session, so yeah, he's my pick then. I'm also coughing, so I'm not going to call the race, because I'd rather not. Like, when I'm trying to talk about something, I'd rather you not hear me frickin' cough. I almost said a bad word. I had to replace it. I hope that word is okay. I
think that word's just fine. Let's avoid the profanity. You're fine. Either way,
Oh.
great to hear you're better than you were last week. Of course, missing the Schumacher Racing League on FTN. We had some great help from Ryan over at SRL, getting a broadcast out all the way. Got a shout out to the CEO of Bread. Not quite sure if he's watching, but all the same, a major help. Now you're back on the way. Good to go broadcasting. Is there anything more you'd like to add for the fans here with 10 minutes left in practice?
I'm driving a touring car around South Boston right now. Let's see how it feels.
Getting an expert opinion there.
Front-wheel drive car at South Boston. It was horrible to drive out Wild West, kind of, because there were a few turns where, it was horrible because it's a front-wheel drive car. USA, I don't know how it felt. It felt decent. Turn 1, I was over-driving the car. Turn 3, I was under-driving the car. South Boston, it feels fine. You're just going to go wide on the exit of Turn 2 and Turn 4, it feels like right now, but... Actually, no, Turn 2 feels completely fine. Turn 4 just sucks. I'm all running this on the baseline setup, running down to the apron because I don't know how to drive this damn track. That is an expert opinion. I can bring more experts' opinion next time we broadcast with a touring car around here, if you'd like.
Well, I'll tell you this much. Of course, not racing tonight, Schulte, but in the case you can, Limebrock is up next, and that's going to be a very exciting race next week, Friday night, as always. And it's going to be Limebrock, of course, with the late model stocks, but in addition, with the Miatas. Any interest there?
Are you saying I have to drive around a road course with a touring car? I can. Please tell me it's not with the chicanes, because the layout with the chicanes isn't funny. And I'd rather watch people try to go up that hill on, where you... Okay, so I'm talking about after the S's, where you hit the tree. There's a shade of a tree, and you either take a chicane there, or you keep going straight, you make a right, and then you have to go really fast through there. And whenever you're trying to do that turn, you all your tires go off the ground, so you're in air for like 2 seconds.
Right.
I did it in a GT3 car once. I did it in a GTE. I did it in an LMP2. You get the point.
Yep.
I'm going to go do that in the GTP right now. But the funny part is about all of that, the late model stocks, if they run that specific layout, they're going to be off the ground for like a good second at least. And that's going to be the funny part about all of that, because you're off the ground. There's nothing you can do. If you're about to wreck, you just got to pray. If you're not about to wreck, you're going to wreck, because when you hit the ground, you might spin if you have a skill issue.
Now, I'll tell you this much. You're mentioning, of course, not using the chicane at Lime Rock. The official picture of the Miatas going around Lime Rock does not have that S configuration in the hill in use. It's the flat-out, very fast portion where you can get lap time under 1 minute. So in the case you're interested, maybe we could have ourselves an in-car analyst in this league. That would be something fun. I'm not sure if you're interested in that one.
Well, it sounds funny. I'll have to think about it, see how I feel next Friday. Let me find it. Hold on. I can give a great expert analysis in a completely different car if I can find Lime Rock, because I know I own it because it's free. And for you and for people who want iRacing, Lime Rock is free on the iRacing service, not the GTP. So go buy the GTP because it's a great sounding car. Actually, I should mention the Cadillac. And 2 more come at the end of August, beginning of September, called the Acura ARX 06 and the Porsche 963. The 963 being officially teased, but iRacing said 2 more GTPs come at the next update. And what could the other one be? The Acura ARX 06, because there's no other car that runs an IMSA besides the BMW, the Cadillac, the Porsche, and the Acura. So, there's my conclusion.
Well, I'm telling you this much. We learned quite a lot in just that small frame of time. Andrew Schulte, great to have you here. Now, I'm going to have to ask you a little bit more. I have to tell you this much. We've been seeing a great points battle so far, and I wonder what your take is. You're seeing one of the Schumacher Racing League, where they're running the playoffs, but here in the Short Track Showdown, things are a bit different. We're running with a full season layout, and it's going to come down to, I believe, the Big Four, which is, as it stands, Zach Knowles, Jack Painter, the fourth man in it, is also including likes of Harry Grindell and Nolan Sanford. They're all separated by within 25 points, and anything could happen tonight. You think there's going to be any shifting, or you think the championship is already said and done?
Let me go actually look at the points here so I can get an idea of how many points everyone has. Wins, top 5. Okay, well, I just loaded into the session. Zach Knowles has to have a terrible race. Harry Grindell has to have a decent race to have a shot. Everyone else, Nolan Sanford and Jack Painter, could probably catch. Kiani is probably out of it. Anyone under Kiani is out of it. Kiani has to have like consistently good races at this point, so to actually have a way to get in. But I think Knowles has it if he just keeps having good races. Because last time I was here, I think maybe Harry raced. I can't remember. Did he race at Southern National? I can't recall. But if he didn't, that's not good, because he is in the UK. So he can make these races pretty easily, since it's not like 9-10 p.m. on the East Coast, but there it's like, oh god, it's like, I don't know, 2 a.m., 1 a.m. So it's like midnight for him at least, but he's able to make these races. So I think he'll have a shot if he doesn't miss anymore. Anyone below, they can't miss anymore and have to have consistently good finishes.
And as it stands, every driver coming down the pit road. So 4 minutes remaining here as we are going through this extended interview. And it looks like qualifying coming very shortly. Sun is set. Things are getting in motion before the big show gets on its way. 125 laps. Now, one other thing we mentioned earlier in the going tonight is that there's so many manufacturers. Right now, there's a Pontiac on the screens of all viewers. In addition, our leader is in a Cadillac. Then we're seeing a Chevy. We're also seeing a Ford. We're also seeing a Renault and a Dodge as well, not to mention multiple variations of Ford. Nathan Kiani is in a Ford Falcon, and of course we've seen Chevy SS's alongside the Chevy Camaros. Many different variations. You think anyone in particular in terms of manufacturers are going to have a good run?
Probably the Chevys, maybe Cadillac, since they're also GM. Toyota, maybe. Any Fords? Renault, definitely not, because it's Renault. I'm sorry, Harry, but it is Renault. I think that's all. Also, speaking of Cadillac, I'm sending the GTP car around the Lime Rock, and it feels great. So expect great action from Lime Rock next week.
We're absolutely expecting some great action from Lime Rock, and as it stands, we'd love to ask you a bit more about the Schumacher Racing League, going back for all the FTN viewers right now. Of course, a lot of the drivers and a lot of the viewers, they come week after week for all types of racing. Now, on Mondays, we're pretty packed. I'm broadcasting. We know River's broadcasting, and you are as well. Anything in particular about that points race you'd like to share with our viewers here before we get to it in a few days' time?
So Darlington is actually that race, and that's 2 weeks from now. So I should mention that. That's going to be our season finale, or regular season finale. Homestead is the season finale, but there's a pretty intense points battle. People left the league, of course, so those people are also going to shake up the points a bit. We have Jason Rajcock, who's getting married in October, obviously going to not be able to race. So he's going to be an active driver, just not able to race for the championship, which is not good, unfortunately. But Darlington is going to be a great race because guess what? It is Darlington, so either it's going to go very terribly or very great. There is no in between for a track like that. New Hampshire, I will actually hate if that race sucks, because Kentucky was a great race. You had beef. You had people wanting to wreck each other into the wall. You had people who were at each other's throats. If New Hampshire has none of that, I'm going to cry on broadcast, because that was a great race. Kentucky was. Unfortunately, COVID made me miss it. So, yeah.
And it looks like back on the way. COVID might have stopped you then, but you are back. Now, as it stands, it looks like it's going to be 1 minute and 22 seconds remaining. So we're going to pull the plug on this extended interview momentarily. Anything more you'd like to add?
I'm still coughing, 1, and 2. I actually want to do a backflip off my chair, but that would probably break my back because I'd fall on it.
Well, there we have it. Andrew Schulte, thank you for stopping by from the FTN production board. Hope you enjoyed this race, and of course, hope you keep in mind Monday night Schumacher Racing League. We're also looking forward to that one as well.
All right, thank you for your time. Actually, you should probably be saying that to me, but thank you.
Absolutely, Andrew. Thank you for being here, and hope you have a great
No problem. You too. Good luck.
And Andrew Schulte going to be on the way. That is, of course, our broadcaster on Monday nights for the Schumacher Racing League. And Zach Knoll is going to be first in practice even still. Jonathan Oates is going to be in third. And it looks like it's going to be second for Paul Mikolajczyk. And Nolan Sanford's fourth, with Jack Lauer then fifth. Joshua Chin is in sixth. It's time to get things going once again. This time, qualifying will be an actual hot lap battle. It's not going to be automatically assigned. Time to find out what these drivers have in store. It's going to be all about the best laps. Find out who gets that coveted pole position here in the South Boston Speedway. Practice has concluded. Zach Knowles is the fastest man before things get started. And now it's time to find out who's got what it takes to win here in Virginia. As drivers depopulate the track yet again, it looks like it's going to be a total of 5 minutes on the board. As every driver gets back on the way, it looks like they will not be sharing the track with one another. Going to be all alone for each and every one in the field, giving them some time to work on their own mechanics, try to go later if they wish. Some drivers going immediately, such as Nolan Sanford. And Sanford getting the man to take us through to get things started. The 52 comes to line to make it the green flag here in our qualifying session. Now we're on our way, and it looks like the Kodak 52 going to be the first to go through the back straightaway. Joshua Chin going to be right there as well. Jack Lauer going to be on the way. Cyrus Duringe, Mo Perry, Ruby Estes, but it is Nolan Sanford with the fastest time so far, and he's going to back it down, go back to pit road, and it looks like he is going to try to use the European qualifying style to his advantage, given 3 laps instead of of 2, and it looks like he's going to go in and try to make that third and final lap count the most. Jack Painter takes it into his third lap immediately, and he's going for gold in one run. Looks like he's going to be bogged down into the 7th spot. Joshua Chin is going to be fastest now, and Joshua takes it all the way up to the top with Paul Mikolajczak going down into 5th. Jack Lauer is going to be now in 2nd with Steven Gibson then in 3rd. Jonathan Oates finds himself in the 5th spot now as Jack Lauer takes it now up into 2nd. Just like that, multiple drivers already done with their qualifying run. Harry Grindell, now Rudy Valentine, and Joe Armstrong are the only 3 drivers not to take a time. So with that in mind, most of qualifying already concluded in just 2 minutes. We're waiting on 3 others in the field, but so far they have chosen not to go out. A big somersault for the 54 of Mo Perry, and it looks like he'll land on all 4s as well. Just like that, qualifying all but over. Paul Mikolajczak going to be 9th, and it looks like 3 other drivers opting not to go until now. Joe Armstrong going to take to the track, and the number 22 of Bass Pro Shops Camaro now gets on the roll. Let's ride on board with this number 22, a winner from Southern National, trying to do it all over again. And Armstrong working that steering wheel back and forth. You can see it on the left-hand side of your screen. Armstrong up and down, owing to, of course, the high sides through the straightaways and going as low as he can. Some drivers choosing to use the apron, but right now it looks like Joe is not going that far down. You're going to go down to the bottom yellow line, take it down, and then up through the exit. And just like that, Armstrong going to be 2nd on the board, and he still has 1 more lap to improve further on what he's got. Within 1/10 of a second of the pole position already. 2nd spot is his. Can he claim pole at the line? For Armstrong, it is going to be not enough. That lap would have qualified him 3rd, but he's in 2nd already, so no worry. Just like that, qualifying again appears to be at a standstill, and this time it appears to be for certain. The main event going to be on its way in just a few moments. 125 laps in South Boston Speedway. Halifax County, Virginia will come to life once again with the sights and sounds of the virtual late model stocks. Let's find out who makes up that grid, because there's quite a lot of talent. So without further ado, let's get right into it and check your starting grid for tonight's event here in the late model stocks. This is South Boston Speedway, and this is the skid steer loader 125. It looks like as it stands, row number 1 gonna see Joshua Chin, first man on the order with a 14.918, putting him in the pole position right ahead of Joe Armstrong in the number 22 in 2nd, just on the outside. Then from there, Jack Lauer going to be in 3rd with a 59 machine, put 1,000th of a second ahead of your current points leader in Zach Knowles. Nolan Sanford then going to be the man who rounds out the top 5. 1,000th of a second behind him is Steven Gibson. Gibson scored in the 6th spot in that number 21. Then from there, Mo Perry is going to be 7th, and it is going to be Jonathan Oates, the final man, under 15 seconds. He puts it there with a 14.997, and Cyrus Jaringe puts himself inside the 5th row, 9th position with a 15.004, and the 89 puts himself right beside Paul Mikolajczak, one of the fastest men in practice, does not get it done as well in qualifying. Now going to be 15.016 before things get going. Jack Painter going to be 11th after a victory in our Tour Modified event. Going to be 11th right beside Rudy Estes. Both drivers competing in both races today, separate by only 3 1,000ths of a second. Advantage goes to Jack Painter as he has himself a 15.048 as opposed to a 0.51. Then you'll see it's going to be Nathan Chiani in that number 17 Ford Falcon. He's going to be row 7 as well, and it's going to be the only driver in this segment to have a timed lap. 13th place, the final man with a qualifying time with a 15.179. Then from there, 2 drivers who have chosen not to take a qualifying lap, and it looks like it's the same as it was before. Rudy Valentine, who we saw sparsely in practice, puts his number 78 into the 14th position, and in the inside of row number 8 to round out this field, the number 70 Renault of Harry Grindell finds himself on the 8th row, position number 16 to round out your starting grid in the skid steer loader 125 main event. Welcome to South Boston. That is your starting grid. And now with time running out until the race gets on its way, 125 laps of racing. Joshua Chin gonna lead him to the start-finish line to get the race on the way. And after over a half hour of practice for each and every driver, now they're beginning to grab their gear and get prepared for the big show here tonight. 125 laps going to be just about double the estimated amount given to the drivers in the modified tour. These drivers, though, a bit quicker, and hopefully they'll put on a clean show all the same. Coming through, the iRacing official pace cars, the lights are off, but it's going to be one more pace lap of preparation. Joe Armstrong, who's been oh so successful every attempt he puts in to the series, is looking to do it once again, getting back to the checkered flag. Jack Lowers has a special paint scheme. It's the Dayquil NyQuil double. It's going to be side by side. Dayquil is going to be on its left-hand side, and on the right, you'll see NyQuil. 2 different paint schemes wrapped into one. Points leader Zach Knowles is there just within the top 5, and he's trying to extend that gap over Harry Grindell. Rudy Valentine not on the starting grid in formation. Harry Grindell moves up a spot. So just like that, as they come through this time around, the green flag will fly, the pace car's in, and South Boston comes alive with the main event. Here, 125 laps are under green. Armstrong able to jump out to a sizable margin up at the front of the field. You'll see then Joshua Chin going to be second. Jack Lauer fades back a bit further. Now it's going to be Jack in 5th, trying to battle side by side, but he does not stick. Steven Gibson gets a spot. Now it's going to be Mo Perry working to the high side, but not all too much. Side by side, it's going to be Nolan Sanford, Mo Perry, and right now you'll see another battle with Cyrus Durange and Jonathan Oates. This is the battle for the 9th position, and right now it looks to be the advantage to the number 89 Dodge Charger. Down low, Durange takes it yet again. Oates tries to make that high side last, but nobody's been able to do so with much success so far, as Mo Perry's in the wall. Now it looks like the 2 Perry paint schemes will battle side by side as Jonathan Oates fades back even further. Jack Painter neck and neck now with Johnson just ahead of him, and you'll see Nolan Sanford is going to be in 6th as there's a bit more rubbing in the wall for Mo. It's going to fade him back even further and give Cirrus position number 7. Now 120 laps remaining. Time already going to be running out for some in the back. Track position is going to be the death of some runs, and for Ruby Estes right now in that number 16, being in the 14th spot dead last, it's going to take a lot of time and effort to get back up in front. Seeing some very quick drivers like Paul Mikolajczyk and another spin nearly. Jonathan Oates and Nathan Kiani takes it down to the bottom. They'll keep it straight, but that could have been much worse. Some contact between the both of these drivers in the middle of the pack. They now go to the back. Jonathan Oates in some trouble, now finds himself in the last position. Let's take a look back and find out just what happened. And Jack Painter was lagging quite a bit there, blinking in and out. That might have caused the trouble to begin with, but Nathan Kiani drops down low, makes some contact, and is going to finish Oates off, gets him back straight inadvertently, and luckily for both drivers involved, they'll be able to get it back straight very quick. Now Jonathan Oates puts himself in the 14th position, puts his head back down, and goes back chasing the drivers just ahead. Ruby Estes only 0.3 of a second behind right now Jonathan Oates is, so there's a chance to get those positions made back up immediately. Joe Armstrong now leads the way quite clearly with Joshua Chin in 2nd, Zach Knowles getting 3rd, and Steven Gibson now in 4th. Jack Lauer rounds out that top 5, and Nolan Sanford's then in 6th. It looks like so far so smooth for your leading man, who takes him down to the start-finish line for what is already going to be lap 13. Joshua Chin remains in that runner-up position, and he has some pressure. Points leader Zach Knowles is trying to extend that gap, and it looks like it's worked out so far. He's ahead of all his championship rivals. However, Nolan Sanford is the closest. Sanford is in 6th, while Zach Knowles is in 4th. So maybe it's going to be a bit more dicey between these two than anyone else. Jack Painter is going to find himself now in 9th, and it looks like for Nolan Sanford's other rival, which would be Harry Grindell, Grindell puts himself all the way in the back in 10th. Right now, of the 4 big drivers of the championship chase, the one who already leads is having the best run just outside the podium, 15 laps in with 111 laps remaining. And as they go through yet again, all is quiet up in front. Single file between your first 5 drivers. Now, the way things are going, we might get a halfway caution to bunch the field back up. That is at the admin's discretion. It does not look like that is going to be the case so far, but it could be decided upon by the moment we hit that lap number 62 point. Right now, of course, all green. Nice green flag start, and that's the way things should be in short track racing. It's been action-packed, but at the same time, mostly calm. And as they come around yet again, 108 laps remaining. It's been the piece that has given us some great battles all throughout. Harry Grindell going to try to work down to the bottom side. Does not have enough momentum to clear Jack Painter or even make a big lunge down there. He'll attempt it yet again, this time by, but it looks like not much more going to come of it. The Kamikaze number 70 waits in the wings. It's a Renault and a Pontiac alongside a Dodge, all battling for the 8th position. Mo Perry has it, Jack Painter wants it, and it'll go down to the bottom to show how much he wants it indeed. Side by side yet again, Mo Perry gets a good run off, and it looks like Jack will have to wait once again to try to make that move stick. He's got the bottom side multiple times in succession, and it looks like he's got enough force to maybe make a pass. There's contact, but nothing comes of it, and Jack will have to go back to work yet again. Perry gets that spot, remains in 8th, and the battle is brewing. Let's take a look on board with Mo right now, scored in 8th. Just behind him, Jack Painter and Harry Grindell waiting to get that spot for themselves. Every time Jack Painter goes down to the bottom side, he simply does not have enough momentum to make the pass stick. Down the stretch, though, this looks much better, so it could be a change in mind for Painter. He's almost clear this time through. They door bang just a bit, but they're still going to remain side by side. No official move has been made. It still is going to be dicey, as Jack now has a slight advantage. Is it enough to come through? It looks like it will be. Perry's now going to be 9th as the caution flag flies for the very first time. That is going to be instead for the driver in the number 16 of Ruby Estes. Let's take a look at what just happened as Ruby gets it back on the way. And with Ruby Estes moving once again, some contact from Nathan Chiani will spin her around, and that's going to be the yellow flag just like that. So Ruby Estes involved with the first yellow flag, Nathan Chiani in it as well, and just like that, the yellow will fly with 100 laps remaining. Caution is out for the first time tonight, and it is already going to be pacing yet again. 26 laps in so far. Joe Armstrong leads the way. Joshua Chin is in 2nd. Stephen Gibson is in 3rd, and it is Zach Knowles then in 4th. Top 5 is rounded out right now by Jack Lauer, and now as they go down from the triple digits to the doubles, it is still going to be Armstrong up ahead. Very good start here for Joe, who did not get that pole position in qualifying, but has led almost every lap so far. He's going to go right down to the bottom here, and it looks like going to take a penalty of sorts, dropping down to the end of the field. So as we mentioned it, Joe Armstrong now going to find himself from the back all the way up to the front yet again, and now puts himself once more in the lead. So a bit of inexplicable happenings here under caution as a pace car sees multiple drivers in the back. Rubiestis now going to stall it. And 2 laps down, Ruby going to wait, and it looks like there is a reason similar to what we just saw with Joe Armstrong, but nothing has been decided. Armstrong still the leader, then in second Joshua Chin. Steven Gibson is then in third. TL72 coming in to shout out Zach Knowles in the number 742. Iris Nog in chat as well. Thank you all for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation. Knowles so far looking to wrap up that championship with a few weeks to spare. Has been competitive all season long, of course leading the points as is. A good run tonight and a good run next week at Lime Rock might be enough to get it done and complete the package for the title. So far, 97 laps to go. They've already burned through just about 30. It's looked good so far for your championship leader. It has looked better for Joe Armstrong. First restart of the day coming here and now for Armstrong as they make it to the green flag. We're back underway from South Boston. And Armstrong going to take the field through with another yellow flag. It's going to be cautions, breeding cautions. Grindell's going to be now in reverse. Rubiestis involved and Jonathan Oates sees it, has to swerve out the way. A flag with Harry Grindell backwards. Let's take a quick look at what just happened as we find ourselves pacing for the second time tonight. Grindell going to be there in the thick of the battle with drivers such as Jack Painter. Does not make any move down low, and it looks like through 3 and 4 tries to lunge it a bit more out, but Perry's going to make contact. Mo gets some damage. Paul Mikolajczak goes around as well, and that's the caution with Mo Perry overcorrecting and bringing multiple drivers to a halt. Just like that, the caution flies for the second time, and it's another big change. Now it's going to be multiple drivers heading into pit road. Grindell, one of which, Jonathan Oates there as well. Now it is time to find out what is next for these drivers. Big time damage. We'll see whether or not it can get repaired. Maybe there's still a chance to compete for those in the back of the field. 93 laps remaining with Joe Armstrong up in front. So far, so good for your leading driver. It's been calm up ahead, smooth sailing, but the rest of the field has been tricky to deal with. Even from second on back, it's much more risky without that track position. You cannot afford to be losing positions actively, or else it's going to take an awful lot to get that time and that, of course, position right back. It's not as easy as it would seem. Joe Armstrong definitely making it look easy so far, but it can change in the blink of an eye. If there's any damage, not much you can do besides driving with it and holding on for what you got. Right now, most drivers don't have it. We've already seen some take a fast repair. Mo Perry just took his. It looks like Jack Painter has as well. Rubiestis is now only 1 lap down, looking to get those laps back. Gets 1, now looking for the next. But it will not come in this caution. 1 lap to green. The number 22 of Joe Armstrong leads just ahead of Steven Gibson. Pace car going to be coming on this time by, making it 90 laps remaining. Let's see what's left for Armstrong as they come through the start-finish line once again. Pace car is in. Armstrong's back on the pedal. Green flag for restart number 2. And at the line contact, it's a big spin for Jack Lauer. Yet another caution, and we are back under pacing. 3rd consecutive yellow within 1 green flag lap, and it's another one. It's a traffic blocker now. Drivers going back and forth. Kiani finally gets it on the way. Jonathan Oates, and the pace car speeding. and stops immediately as he hits the wreck. How about that one? And the iRacing official pace car rushes to the scene. Not much comes of it, but Jack Lauer gets some damage. And how about that? Third caution of the day coming back to back to back. Let's take a quick look at what just happened here. And after minor contact with Ruby Estes brought out the first, it has become more and more intense since that point. Instant replay will show you what's going on here with the number 59 up on the high side. Let's take a look at what just caused this incident. And it looks like it's going to be Cyrus Duringe pushed up to the top side of the track. Then Nathan Chiani hit by Paul Mikolajczak and Jonathan Oates. Even Jack Lauer getting a piece of it. Mo Perry slowly but surely backs out of it. Ruby Estes and Harry Grindell are both stopped as well. Just like that, the caution flies yet again, and we will be under yellow for the third time with 87 laps remaining. Now more than half the field has come down to pit road at least once, and it looks like now almost half the field has taken a fast repair. Jack Painter, Paul Mikolajczak, Cyrus Duringe, Nolan Sanford, Jack Lauer, Nathan Chiani, Mo Perry, and Harry Grindell have all taken their one and only. So now multiple drivers running out of their final chance. From here on out, you go with what you got, and it's going to get very risky for those who cannot afford to lose anymore in terms of pace. Damage is already becoming a big part of the picture here. If you got any more of it, you might not be able to keep on racing. No retirees so far. 2 drivers are off the lead lap, but that's about it. Ruby Estes 1 lap down. Harry Grindell 1 lap down as well. Rest of your drivers are on the lead lap and still can compete, but many of which have taken one fast repair. It looks like right now Ruby Estes and your top 4 are the only 5 drivers who have not taken the fastie, save for Jonathan Oates. Oates in the middle of it has chosen to stick it out with the damage he has. It's a risk. We'll see if it is worth taking. Third restart, this time through. The pace car is in. Let's get back to the racing here in South Boston. And side by side, they'll be for the stripe this time by. The race lead is in contention, and now Steven Gibson's got a shot down low. Steven tries to take it down to the bottom side to no avail so far, but Armstrong's in the wall, and that might be all he needed. Now Gibson's got a bit more of a run, taking it down. He's got a bit of a nose ahead of that number 22. Now Steven Gibson finds himself with the race lead. Joe Armstrong puts himself in a second, and Joshua Chin is then in third. Fourth is Zach Knowles, and Cyrus Duringe is then in fifth, with Jack Painter 6th, Nolan Sanford now in 7th, and Paul Mikolajczak in 8th. Steven Gibson now has that race lead, but it's been dead even, side by side, multiple laps over. Take a drone camera, see what's going on. The majority of the field is single file, but Zach Knowles is going to make contact, and another driver goes around. It's a parking lot again. Cautions out for the 4th time with 80 laps remaining, and you saw it develop overhead. Now let's take a look at why it happened. Zach Knowles, your points leader, gets some contact, and the caution flies for the 4th time tonight. And as we take an FTN instant replay here, let's take a quick look back. Zach Knowles getting some contact right behind him. Looks like it was from Cyrus Duringe, and that it was. Bumped once, and that's going to spin him up the track. Mikolajczak, Jack Lauer, Nathan Chiani all make some contact. And just like that, Grindell barely able to make it out. And it's another big load of contact for several drivers. And it's another driver now involved, Nolan Sanford, retiring from the night. And your driver who came into the day with 3rd in the point standings might fall a bit further after that comes into play. Nolan Sanford gets back on the track now, so it looks like he is not officially done, but instead went down to pit road and got out of the cockpit to look at the replay. Joe Armstrong is scored as the race leader according to timing loops, giving him back the prime position to chase down the win yet again. Searing stays in 4th, but it looks like Grindel finds himself back down to 12th. Nolan Sanford is in 13th. Ruby Estes is in 14th, and Zach Knowles is in 11th. This is major for a driver like Jack Painter, who came into the night with an outside shot in the championship. Came into the night, of course, 24 points out of the leading spot, but now finds himself several positions ahead of each and every one of his rivals so far in this race. So for Jack, this is a miracle. Ahead of everyone, he has to pay attention, or now it looks like he's got that track position as clear as day. Jack Painter scored in 5th, only behind 4 drivers. Joshua Chin, position number 4. Sirius Duringe is in 3rd. Steven Gibson is now in the 2nd spot, and Joe Armstrong leads the way as 76 laps remain. Live on FTN, yet again, you'll see it. Double file this time by Armstrong, going to take the top side yet again, letting Steven Gibson go right down low. Green flag going to fly once more. It's going to be side by side in the iRacing official pace car. Let's get back at it yet again. Restart number 4. Make it 75 laps remaining, 50 laps down, and there's still quite a ways to go. Green's back out yet again, led by Joe Armstrong and Steven Gibson. And it's a good launch this time for Joe Armstrong. Not as much direct competition as it was before, but the caution flies yet again. And we're going to take a look back as it looks like Grindel, Kiani, and Zach Knowles. Nolan Sanford, the 3rd track blocker. And it's the same incident repeated yet again. Taking an instant replay to find out what caused this one. You can see Harry Grindel up top. You can also see Jack Lauer's going to be in the mix side by side. It looks like it began with Lauer and just ahead, Mo Perry 2. Up the track, Perry went. Zach Knowles involved, and it looks like Nathan Kiani and Jonathan Oates were the first to make contact. Let's take a further look back and find out why. And looking at the restart in its entirety here, Nathan Kiani scored now in the 12th spot. This is the instant replay on the most recent incident to find out what caused our 5th caution of the day. Side by side, Oates was with Kiani that time through. And as they go around to the turns 3 and 4, Kiani makes some contact up top, overcorrects, then Perry's gonna hit, and so does Zach Knowles, Harry Grindel, and it looks like Ruby Estes might have caught a piece of it. The number 16 actually might have made the best avoidance of anyone so far tonight. Let's take a look inside the cockpit and find out what happened for the number 16 of Ruby Estes. And coming through this time, it is now going to be 71 laps to go under yellow, replaying our most recent caution inside the cockpit view of the number 16. And it looks like it's going to be splitting the middle, but with some contact. Luckily, not as much as other drivers in the picture, but definitely some incidents to keep an eye out for. So another driver caught up. Ruby Estes officially involved with Harry Grindel, Nolan Sanford, Nathan Kiani, Mo Perry, and Jonathan Oates. Yellow flag still out with 56 laps already said and done. Joe Armstrong is still your leader, and it is now going to be 70 laps left. 2 laps to green. Drivers head back to formation once more. Let's get ready to rumble. Next time by will be 1 lap to green, as we will come back with 68 laps remaining. As the field comes by this time around, Joe Armstrong going to be there with Steven Gibson. Now going to be a total of 69 laps left, and it's been a very nice battle between your top 2 guys in both Joe Armstrong and Steven Gibson. Running very respectfully up in front, using both the high side and the low side. Both of these lines getting very good results, and if they can get some more green flag time, I'm sure we'll see an even more intense battle from the both of them. Both of the drivers capable of making it happen on the top stage as they'll get back at it yet again for your 5th restart. Big jump for Gibson. and it's going to be a jump that gives Gibson the lead. Caution's out for the 6th consecutive time, and just like that, it's going to be another short run, and it brings us back to a halt. Now, it looks like it might have been Rubiestis, but nothing very clear. Harry Grindel fades back into 14th, so we're going to take an instant replay and find out why the caution fell on lap number 58. It is going to be a big stack up. Grindel did not go. Involves Rubiestis and Nathan Chiani. Let's take it back 20 further seconds and find out why this is the case. It's a huge wreck, but it looks like it could have been avoided. Maybe some incidents up in front caused it. As we look at it yet again, it looks like Zach Knowles went, but it was first Jack Lauer, then stacking into Knowles, then Grindel, then Estes, and then Nathan Chiani. So everyone stacking up on the outside line brings us back to the caution yet again. Now 60 laps in, we're back to the yellow flag, and just like that, it's going to be your 6th yellow of the day. And the caution flies once more here in South Boston. It's been trouble for a lot of drivers so far to keep a clean nose. Hopefully from here on out that won't be the case, but it looks like it has been trouble even at the front of the field. Steven Gibson goes down to pit road this time by. He'll take the gamble, leaving Mo Perry out in front with the race lead. Harry Grindel now going to be scored 2nd, and he's going to see that Rubiestis is in 3rd, Zach Knowles is 4th, and Joshua Chin is in 5th. Now there's going to be multiple drivers on pit road for some strategic calls to split the race up. Going to be a one-stop strategy that was thrown out the window due to incidents, but this is the one stop that made all the difference. Leaders come through this time by, and it looks like for all of which it could be make or break. Paul Mikolajczak gets a big jump, but Steven Gibson's got the inside line and will beat Mikolajczak out just barely. Or is it the case? Paul's going to blink out just a bit on our end, but we might have not seen the full story. No, Paul gets it done and just barely inches out Steven Gibson side by side on the exit of pit road. And it's going to be a very close call, but Paul gets the edge just like that. 63 laps in, 63 laps to go. We've hit the halfway marker in your main race. And it's going to be another restart, this time by 1 lap to green. And the iRacing official pace car's lights are off again. This time we got a new race leader for the first time in this race. Mo Perry up in front with Harry Grindel 2nd, Zach Knowles then in 3rd, and Rubiestis then scored in 4th. Side by side, this will be restart number 6. Let's get right back to it here on FTN. Green flag going to get back in session. Green flag is here and now. 65 laps in, we're back on our way here from South Boston. Side by side for lead, it still remains. Harry Grindel going to be out in front, but just by a nose. Mo Perry remains right up high, and they'll stay side by side for that top spot. Now Zach Knowles going to be dead even with Rubiestis, and the clean air might just be key. Drivers who were running in the back of the field earlier in the going now suddenly find themselves in close competition up ahead. Side by side, they door bang once more, and it looks like a bit more rubbing back and forth between every driver here. Not much more going to come of it for now. Thankfully, most keep it clean. Armstrong drops down to the bottom side, trying to take that spot away from Joshua Chin, and it looks like for now he can't get there. He'll fade back just a bit further and let the racing play out all the way. Up in front, it is still going to be Harry Grindel leading. It looks like he's got a big gap over Zach Knowles and Mo Perry. Rubiestis is going to be 4th, and Joshua Chin is then in 5th. Armstrong now going to see himself side by side with that number 93 once more, but he's got pressure from behind to also pay attention to. Keeping a look up in front of the field, though, it looks like it's going to be side by side, multiple rows deep. Perry overcorrects once again. Big stack up, multiple spins. Caution's out for the 7th time tonight. And Joshua Chin sees Mo Perry overcorrect side by side. That has happened for the 2nd time now. And it looks like it's going to be Mo Perry up at the top side of the track, ending up up and over. Multiple drivers checking up, but not quick enough. And you can see a huge pile in. The 93 right there. Nathan Chiani and Nolan Sanford also involved in their own incident in the back. And the caution will fly yet again with 55 laps remaining. And the yellow flag out once more, 72 laps in, and now it looks like it's going to be multiple drivers once again down to pit road. As it stands, it is only 2 drivers who have not taken a fast repair, now make it only 1. Steven Gibson, who was in 8, is the only driver who has not taken his one and only fast repair. Everyone else is on to a second version of their car with everything healed, so it looks like Gibson trying to go the purest route tonight, and he's the only man to do so successfully up to this point. As it stands, 73 laps in, every other fast repair in the session has been taken, and Gibson runs alone. Harry Grindell leads the way over Zach Knowles and Ruby Estes. 2 of your drivers up in front of the point standings are now first and second on the track. And it's quite fitting that it's the 2 that are first and second in the points. Your leading driver, of course, going to be Zach Knowles, and in second it is Harry Grindell. Both of them as competitive as ever, and now they get a chance to go side by side at the front of the field, first and second, with 1 lap to green. This time by, it's going to be all down to this restart if they want to make a jump and get ahead of the track position chaos. If not, they might get swallowed right back up. Coming through this time by, green flag going to be out yet again for your 7th restart of the day, and the green flag will fall yet again. Restart's going to be big for Harry Grindell as we're back racing here in South Boston. And Grindell going to have a monster launch there. Now it's going to be only 50 laps remaining with Harry up in front. Zach Knowles fades back further into second, and Joe Armstrong keeps himself then in third. Side by side, it's going to be not much a change as Jack Painter tries to fight on the high side with Jonathan Oates. Up top, the 97 stays, and it's going to be the Jonathan Oates machinery right down low. Double file between 2 league admins here, and they're going to work each other up to the top side, maybe giving Steven Gibson an opportunity to take it down low. And that he will. Wiggles down to the bottom. Now he's got something on Painter. They're going to be side by side just ahead of Jack Lauer. And now it's going to be Cirrus Geringe. Cirrus goes right up high. Not much to take from it though. Lauer remains on the bottom and uses that preferred line to keep the position that he currently has. Side by side up ahead, it is not the case. Harry Grindell keeps the lead, but that time by was slower by 3/100ths of a second. Take a look from the rear view camera here, looking at the right rear suspension. It is actually now the left rear we changed to, and here on FTN it is getting close between your top 2 drivers. This is the battle for first. And you can see how close Zach Knowles is to making that move for the race lead, getting oh so close, inch by inch, clawing it all back together, and Knowles now finds himself just within 1/10 of a second of your leading driver. 44 laps remaining. The top 2 are still pulling away even further, and now there's a chance to both let them drive as hard as they want. Track position is especially important, as we saw in the modified race. If you have it, that clean air is substantial, and you can use that from the start to the finish. That's exactly what these drivers need right now up ahead. If they want to pull away from the field, why not take this as the best opportunity to do so and get that long run speed into play. Side by side, further on back, it's still going to be between guys like Jonathan Oates, Ruby Estes, Steven Gibson, all fighting as hard as it can get, and with 42 laps remaining for them, make it 41. Time is running out, so if you want a long green flag run to get some spots back in, this is the best opportunity. It's the second longest green flag run we've had all race long, directly after our first, which came from the first lap of this race all the way up to about lap 25. From there, we've seen quite a few yellow flags, but now that we're back underway, the leading battle is is as good as it can get. Side by side is going to be only in the back. Still going to be first and second, nose to tail. Third's going to be Joe Armstrong. Fourth, Jonathan Oates. Now fifth is Stephen Gibson. And Ruby Estes from the back of the field finds herself now in sixth. Only one retiree on the day being Rudy Valentine. Rest of the field that took the start-finish line is still on the track and hopes to go all the way. Perry going to be one lap down, but now Nathan Chiani, the final man on the lead lap, 5 seconds from your leader, and hoping to hold on for the rest of this event. And it's a big night for Zach Knowles as he's now going to be side by side for that race lead. Up to the high side, Grindel goes, trying to hold on to the second spot or maybe get back the lead. Joe Armstrong there as well, and just like that, the pass for lead being put together in real time. The 70 Kamikaze Renault remains on the top, does not have enough to clear. Zach Knowles doesn't, and they're still going to be dead even as we look on board with Joe Armstrong's cockpit camera. You can see this from the suspension. Now, look inside that number 22. Dead even, the high side and the low, leading on each other just a bit more than usual. And if Armstrong sees a mistake from both of them, it could be time to make a move, and that it is. Armstrong makes it 3 wide, and it's going to be side by side into turns 1 and 2. Great move for Joe Armstrong. Very heads up as he goes down the back straightaway, makes contact, bangs doors. Jonathan Oates is now in the picture as well. They're going to make some contact and keep it straight. Unbelievable. It's still going, but Jonathan Oates then makes contact with Armstrong. Armstrong goes right up high. Now they're rubbing with Harry Grindel. Grindel gets right ahead. Now Armstrong slots down low. He'll go and take it 3 wide on Stephen Gibson, driving with a vengeance. Joe goes down to the bottom but can't get the spot. New race lead battle. It's going to be just ahead with Zach Knowles and now Jonathan Oates. Side by side, they're still going to be just behind. Armstrong not happy at all with both Knowles and Grindel. He'll take it down to the bottom yet again and try to get a bit of a run, but does not make it stick. All of a sudden, one driver spins. That's Jack Lauer. No caution going to be called. It's a single card spin, and it looks like we'll bring out the caution immediately thereafter. This will be a yellow flag either way. 30 laps remaining, and what a run that was. Single car spin going to bring us back to the caution. And it was all about the action up in front, but for Jack Lauer not able to keep a handle on his number 59 here. It looks like trying to push it a bit further, but just could not keep it on the track in one piece. Goes down to the inside wall of the back straightaway, and unfortunately that's going to bring out the caution. Lauer thankfully able to get back on the way, so his race is not entirely over, but loses a few more positions, and it might not be enough to climb back up the ladder with such a small amount of time remaining. How about that green flag run that we just saw? Now that it might be over, we got some time to reflect and see who really has what it takes to come home with the win. And for Zach Knowles, that was the run that he needed, able to keep that race lead despite all the beating and banging. Looked like he was very close to losing it entirely, but thanks to some very aggressive driving from someone like Joe Armstrong or Harry Grindel, he was the man who ended up on the top in spite of all the action right around him. Side by side, 3 wide, even so, it's still going to be the 742 and the triple-digit thread up in front. Stephen Gibson's going to be third. The only driver still not to take a faster pair finds himself on, of course, the final step of the podium, despite the fact that he's not been able to make it up to lead so far. He has been as quick as he can get. That number 21 now going to be on the high side, taking it up there to try to use some more track position to maybe make a run for the race lead. 27 laps to go. We're going to become 26 this time by only 25 laps left until the race gets on the way, and it's going to be another ferocious battle. Jonathan Oates had some race-winning speed in that most recent run. It might be time for the 73 to make his move and go for what would be his very first win of the Short Track Showdown season. Can he get it done Or is it going to be time for our points leader to head back into victory lane? Well, let's find out. Green flag going to fly this time by with 25 laps remaining. Big jump for Zach. The green's out yet again. And side by side, Steven Gibson tries to take it double file for just a moment, but does not stick it. Now Gibson puts himself in winning contention, second place, and looking for his first main feature victory of this campaign. He's been good in the preliminary races before, got it done at the Bull Ring preliminary with the street stocks, but now in the big show, he's looking to get it done and gain a major points haul. 23 laps to go this time by, and when we come to 22 on FTN, you know what that means. Let's crank it up with the best cameras on the iRacing platform. Track Cams for Gormans present to you their 22 to go. Crank it up here on FTN. And the caution will fly in the middle of our crank it up, so we'll try it again next time through. It looks like the caution to fall this time for Mo Perry as he finds himself in trouble yet again with 20 laps left on the board. Let's take a quick look back and find out what's the cause. The 54 looks to be involved in this incident. Let's find out for certain. And it looks like right in front of him, some door banging. Nathan Chiani taken up the track by Jack Lauer, and Perry eventually finds himself involved as well. Contact between the 59 and 17. Chiani going to be sent up to the top of the track. Jack Lauer, the man who does the sending, and now we're back under yellow yet again. 20 laps remaining, counting down further. It's now a total of 19 with Zach Knowles leading the way. And now, with Knowles up in front with such little time remaining, you gotta wonder what's going on inside the mind of our race leader. Of course, right now, with the track position, it is major to have it, but the aggression levels have been ramping up more and more. Steven Gibson gave him a real run for his money that time by, but not enough to take him off the top spot. With 18 laps left and still counting down, we'll see whether or not it's gonna be a bigger move from Gibson that takes Zach away from the lead, or if a driver just beyond the top two tries to go for it as well. Don't count out Jonathan Oates, Joe Armstrong, Joshua Chin, Jack Painter. All of these drivers are still in the thick of the race lead battle, and they might have a chance to take away the top spot as well. Let's get right back at it this time by and crank it up for the next 2 laps, and we'll bring you back to uninterrupted coverage with a total of 15 laps remaining. Now, 17 laps to go, and we get this one restarted. Zach Knowles down low, Steven Gibson right up high. The green flag flies yet again, led by our triple-digit threat. And a caution due to fly with some incidents in the back. It looks like it will not. It's going to be Jack Lauer and Nathan Chiani further involving themselves. And with 14 laps to go, it looks like no caution comes of the chaos in the back. Now the lead battle is all the focus, and Steven Gibson's got that edge, but Zach Knowles presses right down low and goes for the top spot once again. Gibson now has it, and for the only driver who has not taken a fast repair, tonight has been something of a miracle, avoiding every wreck, now has the top spot. The question is, with the points race on the line, what will Zach Knowles do to get that top spot back? A dozen to do it. 12 laps to go here on FTN, and it looks like Zach's got a shot to go for it all the way. But right now, Gibson has that big track position, and clean air has been lap king. So much so, most often the leaders are not able to get anything of it until, of course, there is a restart. Even if you're in second, unless the leading driver makes a big mistake right ahead of you, it's almost as if the run is over the moment you get past. You're going to have to wait for someone to make a bit of a slip up right ahead, or hope for a restart from the drivers behind you in the field. 10 laps to go though, so time for a restart is becoming minimal. There's going to be a bit of door banging now as they almost go 3 wide for second. Jonathan Oates now finds himself right down low, and Jonathan dives it deep, takes himself into the second spot as he door bangs it yet again. Now Joe Armstrong takes it down to the bottom, does not have enough room, but he will now. Joe takes it 3, apron riding he is. Zach still has a minor advantage, but he'll try to make a bit of a clearance, doesn't work. Still 3 wide, Zach's got the advantage. Now Joe Armstrong's going to take it down to the bottom side on Jonathan Oates, and it looks like the battle for third will continue, not the battle for second. Steven Gibson with a total of 7 laps remaining now finds himself up in front and alone. Taking a look off the gearbox camera, you will see there is no battle now for the top spot. He is as clear as day, even during the nighttime. Now 6 laps remaining until it's all said and done, and the drivers are continuing to keep it going, but the battle is beginning less and less existent, so to speak. Nothing left of it. Now 0.6 of a second to separate your top 2, and there are only 5 laps remaining. Will there be a mistake from Steven Gibson, or is this all Zach Knowles has? That remains to be seen, as there's another ring of contact. It's going to be Oates down low, saves it, brings it back up the track. He's now in 6th, but Joe Armstrong now sees pressure from Joshua Chin. Chin going to find himself up on the high side though, and it looks like Armstrong remains down on the bottom, able to preserve that lower side, and that's going to keep him inside the podium, at least for the time being. Make it a total now of only 3 laps remaining this time through. Grindel also trying to get inside the podium. It's going to be a multi-car battle. 2 Chevys, a Renault, a Ford right behind, and a Dodge is charging through as well. Still side by side for the final spot on the podium. 2 laps to go. Half a second separates your top 2 drivers. Zach was quicker that time by, but not quick enough unless he sends it deep through the final 4 corners. 1 lap to go. This time by, and it will be Steven Gibson taking the white flag for himself. The battle continues right behind your leading driver, but for 3 and 4, Zach Knowles gives it all he has, but it is going to be the one driver who played it pure all night long coming to the checkered flag as a race winner. Steven Gibson gets it done without a fast repair and wins the skid steer loader 125, getting it done in the feature race with the late model stocks. And how about that finish for Steven Gibson, getting it done, and he's now ready to burn down the house. And getting the party started, exploding that engine right now in the number 21, Steven Gibson on the move up to the start-finish line, and celebration is already on as he backs it down, gets it rolling again, and the party already in full swing. How about that one for Steven Gibson, getting it done and now throwing it around the track at full pace. Makes some contact, but will keep going all the same. Backing it down just after the hit, it's Gibson's night for sure. What a way to win it, and how about your race results for tonight's big show in the late model stocks. For the skid steer loader 125, it's going to be won by Steven Gibson with Zach Knowles second and Harry Grindel then in third. Joe Armstrong going to be fourth with Joshua Chin, then fifth, 2.5 seconds behind, and it's Jonathan Oates 0.005 of a second away from the top 5, finishing in 6th, just ahead of Cyrus Turinge, Ruby Estes, Jack Painter, Paul Mikolajczak, Nolan Sanford, and Mo Perry to round out your top dozen. From there on out, the grid is completed in its finishing order with Nathan Chiani 13th, Jack Lauer 14th, and only one retiree off the lead lap, Rudy Valentine, who did not start in this event. What a race that was here on FTN, and we'll be right back in a brief moment after some fantastic action here in South Boston. iRacing has a brief promotional message, and we'll get you your top 3 interview immediately thereafter. Stick around, and we'll be right back on FTN after a brief promotional message courtesy of iRacing Motorsport Simulations.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And after an action-packed night here in South Boston, Steven Gibson gets it done to come home with his first main feature race of the season. What a win for the number 21 machine. Gibson gets it done. As it stands, though, I'm not going to be in any voice chat, so we're going to do a reverse podium interview session, bringing it back to your third place driver and then going up to your second man in the case Steven Gibson were to come in. If not, we'll conclude the stream from there. So for Harry Grindell, the final man on the podium, keeping it very tight in the championship battle, finishing just behind your points leader. Another great run. How do you feel after tonight's race in the late model stocks, of course, in South Boston?
Oh, I mean, that was eventful, is what that was. That was absolute chaos. My car was quite badly damaged. It doesn't look too bad looking at it in the replay towards the end of the race, but I had a good 5 minutes of optionals in the pits that I just did not need. So, yeah, we were just out here, we were digging, we were driving hard, got in more crashes than I cared to count. And every single one of them because somebody decided they were going to press the middle pedal instead of the right one on restarts. If I figure out who that was, I will have words for them. But yeah, just kind of managed, survive, wound up in the lead at the halfway because I thought, well, my tyres haven't really got that many laps on them, so we'll stay out here. And I decided that once I got past, then I'd come in for tyres, and that gave me about a 30-lap advantage to the end, which got me up to third. So yeah. Played my cards right, survived to the end, got myself a nice little finish. Obviously, I'm not really closing the gap to Knowles, but it's to be on his heels. It's a good night.
And right behind our points leader, still a podium all the same, and tell you this much, tonight was absolutely chaotic. Back-to-back yellow flag scene. We did get some good green flag racing, and that was the best opportunity for anyone to make up any position. So how was it for you waiting for those longer runs and then capitalizing on those?
At the start of the race, it was we got a decent green flag run there. It's just a case of kind of staying behind the car in front of you and not trying to do anything insane, because of course we're at a track that there's not really that big of a difference in speed between the cars as you slow down from the corner, so you've not really got much chance to outbrake somebody. So you're just trying to bide your time. You're not trying to get into people too early, because if you start trying to put the elbows out, give them a bit of head and shoulder, they'll do that back to you, and you want to wait until you do that, so preferably they don't have the chance to do it back to you. That's why I waited until the final lap to give that little nudge to Joe, which I did apologise for him for. I didn't know that the 93 was still to his outside. I thought he got clear when I gave him the nudge. But yeah, it was all just kind of managing and surviving until the end. And in that long green flag run towards the end, I was at the helm for most of it. So I was I was mainly just trying to, hold on for as long as I could, because I knew that Knowles was faster. I knew he was going to pass me at some point, unless there was going to be a caution fest, and that ultimately didn't really happen. So it's just a matter of managing, not necessarily your tyres, not necessarily fuel, but managing your car and its damage and just trying to survive to the end.
And car management, a lot of drivers struggling. Only one driver, of course, without taking a faster pair. So working with what you had is exactly what got you here on the podium. Now, we're taking a break for the ovals next week. On to Lime
Yes.
Rock. That's going to be chaos. How do you feel about that?
It is. Lime Rock it's a brilliant track. I love it. The exact layout that we're not running yet isn't finalized at the minute. The preliminary layout is the one with both of the chicanes, which I'm not particularly a fan of. I'd expect some chaos there as everybody kind of condenses, but if we run the one where you kind of run up the hill, that's going to be a spectacle. The cars do leave the ground at the top of the hill if you if you come a bit wide, so do keep an eye out for that on the broadcast. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I have a chance next week to do quite well for myself indeed. Kiani, I know, also feels confident about that track, so it'll be a different kind of battle, but this car does road courses very well. And here in Europe, we've got a NASCAR Euro Series. So what we're doing next week is more or less something that I'm already somewhat accustomed to. So it'll be fun.
And a different approach next week, but looking for the same results. Harry Grindell, third place tonight in our events. Both, of course, coming down to the main race here at South Boston. Anything more you'd like to add?
Yeah, obviously, huge shout out to Team Kamikaze, to Soyo and Centered Hosting, and to CatGo Racing, to Renault Sport for this Renault Arcana. We kind of tore it up tonight, but that's okay. To yourself for streaming, and obviously to Jack for putting this on. It's a brilliant series. I'm loving every minute of driving this car just as much as I thought I would.
And there we have it, another great run for our man. Second in the points, Harry Grindell pulls through for another podium finish here at the South Boston Speedway. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
And with Grindell on the move, your second place driver pulls another great run in to extend that points lead. Zach Knowles on the triple-digit threat finds himself second tonight after an exciting lead battle here in South Boston. How do you feel after tonight's showdown?
I was feeling pretty good and pretty wild race. I know we were 3 wide there multiple times, and I was hoping to get to the 21 by the end, but he got around me on the restart because someone lifted my tires. But good race, coming off a win of North Wilkesboro there, so P2 is very good. Pretty good points tonight for me. Pretty happy about it.
And still gaining an advantage here on points, but certainly that leading battle was the big point of contention. You and Steven Gibson going back and forth, trading the lead at the end. So many other drivers trying to get a piece of it as well. How was it for you managing the final few moments with all the intensity in mind?
That's pretty wild. I know Steven's really aggressive on restarts. I kind of played him in the last restart. I went really early, and then this time I was going to play him again, go really slow, but lifted my tires. Wish I could have gone green a little bit more. I feel like I'm a lot better on my tires. When I went to North Wilkesboro, I was really good on my tires there and won by quite a bit, like almost 2.5 seconds. But yeah, pretty wild, pretty heart beating, that's for sure.
And tonight, South Boston absolutely raising those heart rates. Now, we saw absolutely everyone, short of our race winner, apparently involved in the wreck that required a faster pair. So, some damage at the end of the day for Cadillac. How was it like counteracting that?
Yeah, when I got spun there, I think I was in second or third. I think it was before the halfway. I think I barely got tapped, and it really messed up the rear end. I thought for sure it was okay, but as I was driving, I was holding the wheel like 90 degrees to the right to make it go straight. So crab walking pretty bad. Took the fast repair, and then I was involved in 2 more accidents pretty much instantly. Had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes of optionals. Car was a little bad. I know I had a little damage on the right front from trying to avoid a wreck and got run into, but yeah, pushed a little bit in the right front and still made it go though. Still got second.
Pulling through for another podium finish before the twist in terms of Lime Rock Park. You've been very, very consistent as of the most recent weeks. Victory lane, you're of course no stranger, leading the points. What's it going to be like to take it to the road course and keep the success up there?
I actually love racing stock cars on road courses, especially late models, and then even better, that late model is my favorite road course. Or Lime Rock is my favorite road course. But I'm feeling really good about that. I hope it runs good, and I expect to make it there, and I expect to do good. Can't wait for Lime Rock.
And hoping for another exciting race, our current points leader pulls through with another podium finish. Zach Knowles, second place here in the late model stock feature. Anything more you'd like to add?
Absolutely. Just got to thank everyone that makes it possible for me. Nitro Circus Sim Racing team, awesome guys. Connor Berry just won the Pro 4 championship, 10 grand in his pocket, so that's awesome. Next Level Racing, Teal, the owner of the team, and yeah, that's about all. ZK Designs.
And there we have it, a big night for Zach Knowles in the number 742, coming home second place in tonight's feature. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
And after tonight's incredible action here in the late model stocks, that's going to be it with Zach Knowles finishing in second and Steven Gibson coming home on top. It's been a great night all throughout. The action has been fierce and another great performance here in what's been South Boston Speedway. Gotta thank y'all for watching the Skid Steer Loader 125 at South Boston. It's been an exciting showdown all throughout the night. We hope to see you whenever we're live yet again on FTN. We'll be live, as a matter of fact, tomorrow night with the Saturday Night Truck Series. That's gonna be another great one to watch. Hopefully, y'all will tune into that as well after another great late model showdown here in the OSRL Ford Studios Short Track Showdown. Gotta thank y'all for watching once again. As always, I've been your host for tonight's broadcast, David Kreutz, and we hope to see you all once again as a viewer whenever we go live on this channel. From our studios to your homes, we hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation on FTN, and I hope to see you whenever we're live again on FTN. Thank you all for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, and hope as well that you have a great night.